What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're actually going to be posting this onto Chris's channel here. And as you can see down the banner, we're going to talk about row cropping for food plots. It's a hot topic, and there's a lot of people doing it with no-till drills and all this different types of thing for a deer food plot. And to me, and I'm sure Chris will, will agree, it just, in most cases, it's not really necessary for food plots. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today, maybe for about 5-10 minutes or so. Hope you guys enjoy. Any questions, post them down below. Let's get started. Chris, what's up?
What's happening?
Where you at?
Well, I'm in the basement. I'm in the doghouse.
What state?
Oh, I'm out of tags, so kind of sitting on the sidelines right now watching everybody else hunt.
What state are you in?
I'm in PA. I'm in central PA.
You got some
Jefferson
snow?
County.
You got some snow?
Oh boy. We got hammered with 12 inches, and then it kind of compacted, melted down, and then we got another 3. Then it rained, then we got 1 inch yesterday. Now they're calling for 3 to 5 Christmas Eve with 40-mile-per-hour winds and possible power outages.
Oh boy.
It's going to be a white Christmas.
Hey, can't complain about that, right?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
You can have all the snow.
Well, I have to. I don't have a choice. Don't have a choice.
Okay, so let's get started. Now,
let's talk about this.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. With food plots, I feel like a lot of people overcomplicate it. And there's a lot of companies out there, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but some companies sell no-till drills. And I feel like no-till drills, they're good for, for production ag. If you're planting like beans, soybeans, or corn would be a good thing to plant in rows. But when we're talking about deer food plots, a deer, a lot of people think like a food plot has to kind of look like a professional picture, like on a postcard. And when they see things in rows, it makes people want to do it. But in reality, I don't think it's the best thing. And I feel like it's a waste of money when you spend the money to buy a no-till drill just to plant a food plot for a deer. When it's not a production ag setup and you're not benefiting money-wise with a return when you're planting things in rows, it just doesn't make sense. What do you think?
Well, I got some things to say. Now, the only pros that I see to row cropping would be you would have probably some faster emergence. I mean, you would be directly drilling. If there's moisture in the ground, you would have a chance for faster emergence with the direct dirt contact. You would be using less seed, obviously, in a drill because you're not covering as much ground. You would probably have less bird predation on your seeds, turkeys, little birds, whatever, digging up your seed. And the uniformity of the looks of it. But aesthetic wise, so what? We're looking to feed deer, cover ground. We want high stem counts. Okay. Yeah, we want tonnage. I mean, we want so much food there that they can't wipe it out. Problems today is a lot of people either don't plant enough or they do this row cropping type thing, and there's too much bare ground, which we'll cover that too. But there's a lot of bare ground involved. They get wiped out. Pretty easy. So I mean, you're looking when you're broadcasting seed, you're looking at adding some more seed on the ground, but you're also going to have a higher yield, and I mean yield as in stem count. What I mean by stem count, obviously, is more plants closer together. It's going to look. We want it to look like a carpet.
We want more plants per acre.
Yep. We want it to look like when you look across that field, we want it to look like carpet. We want to see nothing but green. We don't want to see dirt.
Yeah, no bare spots.
No bare spots.
And when
No.
you're row cropping like that for a food plot, I've seen people plant clover with a no-till drill in rows, and it just doesn't make sense.
That don't make sense. No.
Yeah, I've seen people do it, and my guess is it's just like a sponsor type thing. They have a no-till drill and they're planting clover just to demonstrate it, but it doesn't make sense. We want to fill space. We don't want bare spots, because when you have bare spots, people always complain about weeds. So when you have
I was just going to go there. I was going to go there. You're more likely you're going to suppress weeds. You're going to scavenge more nutrients, and if you don't understand what I mean by that, you're using every available chunk of dirt. When you're row cropping, you're leaving these bare strips where weeds are going to grow, and there's anything good for the deer that's going to be growing there. I mean, they eat weeds. I get it. We all know that, but we're trying to put the good stuff in front of them.
That's right.
Yeah. And also you're controlling erosion. If you have bare spots, you have runoff.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure people will argue that too. When you dish the ground, you have runoff. But the key with everything is to have something, no bare soil, to have something green growing for as many months out of the year as possible. And most of us deer hunters, food plotters, don't have room to plant soybeans. They wipe you out quick. You have to put fences up, dual perimeter fences, and they wipe you out. And then especially if you're planting things in rows, now you're losing even more, plants per acre. So they're going to wipe you out even quicker.
Right. Well, and you got to look at the cost side of things too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you got to look at the cost, but we're talking about a deer.
Right, but I mean, I'm looking at the cons of this. The cons, the cost cons. If you're going to go this no-till and stuff, first of all, you got to buy that machine.
Yeah.
That no-till drill. What are these, like, cheapest is maybe 10 grand?
Yeah,
they're pricey. And you're going to have fuel cost, time cost, labor cost.
Yep.
But you got to think of too. You're out there compacting ground. Compaction's not good either.
Yeah.
I have a small story about that from last year when we planted the pasture to plot series. When I went to put the Egyptian wheat in, Dave, if you remember, you was riding the Ferminator. That ground was like clay that day. It was so wet as it was working up, and we was dropping seeds in, and it was getting packed down. And you can tell by my Egyptian wheat row that something was wrong, because I had the fertilization and stuff right. I think everything got buried too deep by the tractor tires. It got compacted. It just got beat down.
Mm-hmm. Well, you had a field that had nothing done to it for 20 some years, nothing but clay, had no organic matter in it. So it was very, hard soil, and then it was wet. And then you using the big tractors on there, it just, like you said, it just compacted it too much. But that's why we like, disking the ground, kind of working that soil up and working Egyptian or buckwheat in the soil, increasing that organic matter value, which also increases the soil content or moisture content, hold moisture for longer.
Yeah, it's going to hold the moisture. Yep, definitely.
It helps all over the place for every aspect of the soil. And like you said, the cost for $10,000 or something for a no-till drill. Again, like I said, we're talking about a deer. Like, we really don't need that. It's a deer.
Right.
Just work. You can work the ground. There's other no-till methods where you don't need a drill.
Right.
But, for us, we like working that soil, working it up, increasing organic matter that way. Works very well. Buckwheat, working it in, and I can't wait to plant this spring.
Yeah, Yeah. I mean, when you broadcast, there's some pros to it. You reduce fuel costs. You either go out there and manually spread it with a
Mhm.
bag spreader or a hand spreader, over the shoulder, and you're not using fuel. You're not using a whole lot of machinery. You could use a spreader off the back of a quad or whatever if you
Yeah.
have that. If not, you can pick them up cheap at
Right.
Amazon. But labor costs, and it's faster. I mean, you're not hooking this up, hooking that up, going out and doing this and that. It's a lot quicker, I believe. But
Well,
oh,
there's pros and cons to everything. There's pros and cons to disking. There's pros and cons to no-till drills. If you're in really rocky areas, where you can't really disc the ground, then yeah, maybe a no-till drill might be your best bet. But for the general public, the general, you know, fraction of hunters that plant food plots, which is a very small fraction. Majority of us just don't need those no-till drills.
right. No, I think I mean everything you watch on our two channels, anybody can go out there and do it. What we do by hand.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, we have a Ferminator, but you know, after a couple years of being able to get something like that, why, that's just a bonus to
Yeah.
us. But people don't need it. People
No,
don't need it. They
no,
don't need a tractor.
no. The best thing
Yeah.
about the Ferminator is it's all in one. It does everything. And it has a mean set of discs on it. The thing is built like a tank, and it works great. But with that said, like nobody, you don't need one. We've done
Right.
it. We did the farm with 2 acres of it with a groundhog max. So
Yeah.
it doesn't take much to get something planted, really.
Yeah, and that's a good implement to use too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it definitely is.
yeah, it's a toolbox. You have a hammer, a wrench, a screwdriver. It all works together, and there's always a way to get it done.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta use a slotted screwdriver instead of the Phillips, but we get it done.
Oh yeah, no, there's always a way to do it.
If you can go back and watch the videos of us planting soybeans last spring, oh my goodness, we had a day.
Yeah, that was a day for sure. Broke the four
We
wheeler.
we did a lot of things by hand that day, but we got it done, and they grew nice.
Oh yeah, I'll play footage over it on how well they grew, but I mean they grew, you know, 4 feet tall. Had sunflowers mixed in there that we planted or broadcasted, and the Egyptian wheat grew 10 feet tall. I mean, that was a crazy day, but
Yeah,
there's always a way to get it done.
yeah, we had a good day. So yeah, we thank you for watching this.
Yep.
We're gonna get this out to you here. We hope you all have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And wrap her up, Dave.
Any questions, guys? Post them down below, and we'll see you this coming Sunday at 6 p.m. on YouTube live. See you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.